All right. Hello, hello, hello. This is Ross Vertel, faithful reader on the forums, and I am here with a special guest to discuss his decks from Minnesota Nationals. Michael, how are you? Want to introduce yourself real quick?
My name's Michael Van Breemen. I go by the Ninja Scott on the Trek CC boards, and yeah, I played in U.S. Nationals and won the 2E and came in second for the 1E.
Cool. So yeah, we're gonna go through your decks real quick, and looking at your 1E deck, it's you've got the title of Volfleet because Starcan didn't really work out too well. Um, have you played this kind of deck before, Starfleet Vulcan?
Um, it's been a few years in terms of just playing those two affiliations together. I was just trying to pull up something that I could avoid battle as much as possible.
Yeah, you had that in your tournament report. What was Battle kind of the kryptonite? I imagine Battle is kind of the kryptonite for this deck, considering you're using 22nd century ships.
It was just more of Yeah, I mean, if I expend a large number of people out on it in places where I can't protect them, then yes, that's a vulnerability with any deck. So it's harder to avoid battle in space. So I minimize that by having two plants that I'm safe from battle at, and then just hope to make it through one space mission for the win.
Cool. And I take it that worked out. Uh,
Yeah. My first game, it was probably the best matchup for me and the worst matchup for him. He couldn't attack me on my homeworlds, and I could get to my space mission before he could come over and attack me. My third game, he sort of wanted to attack me, but by that point, by the time he got to that point, it wasn't really advantageous for him to do so. It was more of I'm down by two missions, and and one of those is a space mission that because he made it a space mission, so I could do whatever mission I wanted, and yeah, it was pretty good from there.
cool. How'd your middle game go?
Middle game, um, did not go the way that I would have liked, but you know, no one's perfect, so
Right.
it just happens.
Yeah. So with this, you've got the headquarters, you've got the time locations, just get personnel out, go solve missions, and have fun.
Yeah, that was the general idea. I wasn't sure what all to expect. I always assume Borg at any tournament, especially in up in anywhere from South Dakota or Minnesota. So I had to plan for that accordingly. Um, but yeah, it was mostly just I want to solve missions and that because that's pretty much all I usually try to do in any of my decks.
Right. And what was your plan for board?
Stay on my homeworld so I don't get assimilated and um, kind of test the waters to see what's at space missions, but to expend as few people as possible, and hopefully have enough ships to handle whatever might be out there.
Cool. And I noticed you've got two and only two non-aligned personnel in your deck. So I imagine you get Soba Harad and then use him to download Dinesh.
Correct. It's the only way Dinesh gets into play.
Okay. And did she have any specific skills you were relying on or anything?
Um, she can pass feature by herself. So if that comes up, great. Mainly it was a lot of the cards that are in the tent are designed to be downloaded on my opponent's turn though for card draws with finally ready to swim. So it's other so you'll see like there's the phaser pistol, the pad, the tricorder, Dinesh, Emery, Soval, Arat. Um, every all and the ships. I almost always get all of those on my opponent's turn, so that I get extra card draw. Because if you might notice, my deck doesn't draw any cards other than through finally ready to swim or end of turn card draw. So
Right.
it doesn't draw a lot. It just tries to just put out as much as it can and draw when it can. So it Dinesh is mainly because I found her more useful um than Navarre. And if I had one more slot, I might have put Dinesh out and put in Devella instead, because it doesn't matter what slave girl it is. Because Seductive Dance is a very powerful cheater that is immune to um, the what's the name of it? Their shapeshift inhibitor, because it can be done while facing a dilemma in a number of different ways, where it's additional skill, additional attribute, save someone from dying, that sort of thing. So I find that more flexible. And if I had a way to get that into play, I probably would have.
Cool.
Looking back on it, I mean.
Yeah. And I can't help but notice that the last time you and I spoke, you had a lot of multiples in your deck. There's only one multiple of cards you have in this deck, and that's a Delvok.
Yep.
So did that have a huge impact on play with only with you know not really being able to get the key personnel out as long as you got personnel out and then solve missions, you were in good shape?
Yeah. If I look back on it now, I probably would add at least one more copy of Someone with Exobiology, because I kept finding that for when I put the deck together, I completely didn't look at mission skills, so that was my bad. And after noticing that at least three of my missions required exobiology, like, oh, that's a flaw. We need to fix that for next time if we ever do something like this again. But honestly, I found that as long as I had enough people, usually like seven or so, was fine with attempting, whether I had the mission skills or not at the time with that mission temp. Didn't seem to matter as much. I never saw a lack of prep or anything like that. Um, Granted, there were times which I wish I had done something otherwise, but you know, you can't plan for everything.
Cool. Let me see here. And that'd be the only change because exobiology is not one of the Vulcan ships, and you can't get that off of an equipment, right?
Correct.
Okay.
Yeah, you can. Yeah, you just need an actual body. The other thing I would probably change on it would be add more transporter skill. One quirk of the deck builder compared to 2E. Deck builder in 1E counts how much of the skill. And while my deck says it's 5 transporter skill, that's only on 2 people. Uh, Tripp has 2, and Emery Erickson has 3. So
Oh,
5 might say it's good, but that's only 2 people. So that was the problem, especially my second game, where I knew that the chance of Joe Cook would be there, and it was. So 2 people of choice died, and that wasn't helpful.
right. Um, Anything else about your 1E deck before we move on to 2E?
Um, Not really. It did what it was supposed to do. I might add more drawing to it in the future, but other than that, I thought it was a solid deck, and it was. It just I the deck was fine. The player who was playing it definitely had some flaws.
Understandable, these things happen. You're talking to someone who is flawed both with making decks and playing, so perfectly all right. Um, so moving on to 2E, um, you had a Voyager 5 space deck, and I know you've got experience playing Voyager in 2E.
I have experience with everything in 2E at this point.
Right. So what made you choose Voyager 5 Space?
I hadn't right now since I'm out of achievements for 2E, I've been going through what affiliations I played. Um, the last time I played it, the farthest back, and Voyager was up there. So I decided, okay, let's play Voyager. And Five Space sounded like fun. I didn't want to do Lados because I was trying to be not as aggressive with the deck building for this, but it Lados could certainly flip into this. Chris's deck was Lados and Voyager, and that would have been something similar to what I would have played. Missions probably would have been different, but the principle would have been the same.
Yeah, because I took a look at this stack and I'm seeing it's pretty much got the stalwarts of Voyager. You've got your Homeward Bounds, Thirst for Knowledge, Chakotay, Voyager itself. You do have the Delta Flyer, which most Voyager decks just do Voyager and hope nothing happens. I imagine Delta Flyer is there just in case something happened, or were you?
No. The
Oh,
Delta Flyer is in there for Five Space Voyager. Five Space Voyager should always have a Delta Flyer, mainly because Homeward Bound makes it work. See, you have to have, in order to use a Homeward Bound, you have to have three Voyager people. Uh, that it, you have to basically you have to have command a completed space mission, three Voyager people. Can't do that if they're on a stop ship because they'll be stopped. So you need Homeward Bound on a different ship than you're attempting on in order to unstop them all.
I
So can't
see.
do that really on. You could do it with one ship if you want to run the risk of using an event to put people on. But other than that, you need the you need a Delta Flyer. Otherwise 564 doesn't work nearly as well.
Okay. And I noticed you've got Janeway Mindful Keeper, but not a whole lot of personnel who cost one or less. Was she?
Um, I mean, I have six,
Yeah. Okay.
five really, five really, because the sixth one is Telev and he doesn't really count. But yeah,
Right.
there's five. Not a ton, but it's fine. It was more of just getting the right skills of people and to make sure I had command stars in order to staff Voyager. Staffing Voyager is always problematic, so I wanted to make sure I have as many command stars as I could without making the deck too big.
Yeah. Yeah. 45 is manageable. I also know that your 1E deck is also pretty manageable with 32 in the draw deck. And speaking of Taleb, I noticed that well, first of all, I was specifically looking at him, and I take you didn't use his game text, or you didn't use it all that much.
I have never seen anyone use his game text. I've done
Oh,
it once in my lifetime, and that was just because I was playing Romulans and I needed someone there for it. But yeah, his game text rarely kicks in. It's more of his skills than anything else.
and
The two integrity and acquisition on a one cost person is pretty helpful.
okay, and same. Well, not exactly the same, but something similar with Martin Benbeck, just there with useful skills and attributes.
Um, Mainly because of Steve. Steve likes playing Maquis a lot, and Voyager doesn't have a lot of natural people with law. So I added Tulev because he has law. I had Martin Benbeck because he has law. And I fear if I have four law on four different people, I'm gonna be okay. So honestly, that's why those specific non-aligns are there simply because of Steve and Law. Same thing with the change of venue and the self-replicating roadblock on in my deck. Solely for Steve.
Cool. And I don't have the tournament listing in front of me, but did he oblige with playing Maquis? I don't think he
He
did
did
he?
not. He played Bajorn combat. So he wanted to come over and fight me. So what I did once, because I've seen his deck before. So what I intentionally did was played no one with exobiology or medical. So then, yes, that would stop me, but I can't because he wants to use Hippocratic Oath to get people over to his mission so we can start combat and win with two mission win. So I just wouldn't let him, and then I named it with Inversion Mystery, so he couldn't relocate people.
Cool. Sorry, Kevin, but cool. Sorry, Steve, but cool. Um, and then what personnel did you usually get out with Voyager?
Whoever is the most expensive,
Oh,
quite frankly. I mean, it's not, generally speaking, I didn't always have a great choice. I mean, sometimes it was great. I think one game I got Tuvok and Chakotay or something like that. But usually it's just whoever is the most expensive, I want out.
cool. And deck performed according to your expectations, pretty much.
Um, yeah, I only got one full win, which was against Steve. I was stalled. I solved like three missions against both Chris and Jeremy. I just couldn't get that fourth mission solved. Um, so but I prevented them from solving space and planet. They've always solved a space and never planet. So that's how I ended up with a mod win. So generally speaking, this is this will either get a full win or rarely a mod win because you if they get a plan in space and you're doing all space, they will win. You have to get you have to either get a full win or prevent them from solving a planet
Yeah.
or solving a space and planet rather.
So,
Otherwise, you don't win.
yeah, and this is usually the part where I ask if you'd make any changes to the deck, but given that you've familiar with this deck, you've played it before, you probably wouldn't make any changes for a future game.
Um, Probably not. If I was doing Five Space Voyager, I mean, ideally, I would prefer um, not having certain cards like Change of Venue and Self-Replicating Roadblock in the deck just to make it smaller. But I always had either Christening or Voyager in my opening hand in all three games, so I can't complain.
Cool. All right. Anything else before we end it?
I don't have anything.
Cool. All right. In that case, thank you very much for joining me, Michael. Always a pleasure to talk to you. And yeah, we'll see everyone next time. Thanks for watching. All right. Bye.